Hi, everyone, and welcome back to the Legends of Sport podcast presented by Fujifilm. I'm your host, Andy Bernstein. This week's episode celebrates the 80th birthday of legendary NBA coach and executive Pat Riley. And who better than our guest to take us down memory lane than the one and only Earvin Magic Johnson? I was fortunate to document the Showtime era through my camera, but even more fortunate to have met these two legends. I learned so much from both of them, and our friendship has grown throughout the decades. Way back in the infancy of the Legends of Sport podcast in 2018, we were able to sit down with Magic for two wonderful episodes. Fast forward 7 years later, and 250 episodes later, we did it again. And once again, Magic and I had a great conversation about so many memories and topics. From Showtime in the 80s to the Showtime Reunion in Maui in 2022, his contributions to the growth of women's sports, meeting the young Kobe Bryant and knowing he was destined for greatness, the success of his Washington Commanders, Dodgers, and so much more. Big thanks to Magic and his team for making this interview happen today. I know you will enjoy it, and as always, I'll see you on the backside. Well, here we are. 7 years almost to the day that we were here in season one of the Legends of Sport podcast, back in Magic Johnson's office. And first of all, you were great that first interview. I got to tell you,
thank you.
You said the greatest thing to us. You said, this is how you do a podcast. So about 250 interviews later, we're back.
Well, thanks for having me back, Andy. This is cool. You know, anytime you and I hook up is special.
Thank you, my friend. So a lot has happened in those 7 years, right? You won a few more rings. All right. So I think you're up to 17 rings now.
17
Is that correct?
World Championship rings. Isn't that amazing?
You know, we're going to have to, maybe you and I, you'll get me out of retirement to reenact the Bill Russell with 11 rings.
Yes.
You got to do 17 rings.
Exactly.
Can we do that?
Oh, of course we can.
That would be crazy if we did that. Dodgers won 2, right? LAFC won 1 since then. Team Liquid, which I wasn't even aware of.
Yeah.
Right?
Got rings from them and esports. That, you know, when you think about WNBA, the Sparks.
Yeah. Right?
And then all the 11 from the Lakers.
Yeah, unbelievable, man.
It's been a great run.
It's been a great run. And now you got your NWSL team, right?
Yeah.
And hopefully they'll do.
Spears, yeah. We went to the finals. The championship was lost to Orlando. So hopefully this season we can win a championship. So I need to get up to at least 20.
20 is a nice round number, my friend. I want to talk about the Commanders, but we'll talk about them in a minute. I want to talk about really the reason I'm here, of course, to see you, but our good friend, your coach, my mentor, Pat Riley, right, turning 80 years old. All right. First of all, when you hear that Pat's turned 80 years old, what goes through your mind?
Well, Andy, I can't really believe it, you know, that Pat is turning 80 and still looks great.
Yeah.
And
hair is good.
Yeah, hair is good. Haven't retired.
Right.
Still running the Miami Heat. And I'm just happy that he's happy.
Yeah.
You know, and I think that, you know, him and Chris are having the time of their lives in Miami with the Heat organization, still building a successful franchise. And then when I see him, Pat is still Pat. And it's great to know that at 80, he still has it all together. He's healthy. He's fun.
Yeah.
He's still competitive.
Oh, yeah. Always. That Schenectady gene is not going anywhere.
No. And so I just love my coach and my friend.
Yes.
And so I just want the best for him. And it's just beautiful to know that we're still connected together.
Yeah, for sure. Well, let's go back in memory lane a little bit, right? So when I show you this picture, okay, I mean, I have my own story about this picture, but when you see a picture like this or this one of Pat in the huddle, right? First of all, what's amazing to me about these pictures is that you guys are actually paying attention, because these days, these guys are like wandering. They're basically on their phone.
I know.
But he commanded the room.
Oh,
right?
for sure.
And the huddle.
For sure.
Yeah.
Listen, you knew if it was a timeout and one of these he's drawn up a play, and we knew that if we were not paying attention or we didn't execute that play, somebody was going to be in trouble. And so,
is that what's going on here? We say, why didn't you run that play?
Of course.
Because I know that look.
You know that look. Or he's telling me you didn't get back on defense or you didn't box out or there was a turnover. So that look, it's certain looks he give you, either the approval look
right,
or the look of disappointment. And tomorrow in film session, you're going to be in trouble.
And he didn't hold back, right?
No, he never did.
He didn't sugarcoat anything.
No.
You guys, we're all equals out there.
Exactly.
Right.
Pat is a straight shooter.
Yeah.
He's going to it doesn't matter whether it's Magic Johnson, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, James Worthy, Michael Cooper, Byron Scott, Kurt Rambis, Bob McAdoo, you name it. If you did not follow the instructions or you blew an assignment, whether it was a best player or number 12th player on our team, you were going to get the same amount of Pat Riley.
Right. It was respect, right? It was respect on both sides.
Yeah, and also, too, he allowed us to have input, and that's what made him a great coach because we were always going to be prepared.
Yes.
And he demanded that we execute the game plan, both on offense and on defense, and then give 150% and be physical and mean at the same time.
That's right. Play Laker basketball.
So we took on his personality.
Well, I'm wondering what's going on in this picture because this is one of my literally one of my favorite pictures of the two of you together.
Pointing.
Is he calling one thing and you're calling another?
No, we're both pointing saying, "Hey, this is what's going on."
Yeah.
And I see that we're playing the Celtics, so we were both into this.
Boston Garden,
right? In Boston Garden. So both of us was trying to probably let somebody know what play was coming, or look out for Larry Bird, or look out for McHale.
Yep.
And Pat and I we were always on the same page. And before he called a play, I knew what play he wanted to call, and that's what made us such a championship team. Is that we were always look to each other, look at each other, and we knew what each other was thinking. And
you need that between your point guard, general on the court,
that's right,
and your head coach.
That's right.
Right. So Pat talks about, well, first of all, the only ring that he wears of all the rings he's won between Miami and LA is the 87 ring.
Yeah.
Do you consider 87 your greatest championship?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
The best
even
team.
more than 85?
Yeah, the best team I've ever played on was 87.
Yeah.
And we just had it all. And we knew we were going to win the championship. And, everybody understood their role, the talent. We had more talent than everybody. We ran faster than everybody. Our defense was amazing.
Yeah.
And so that you couldn't stop that 87 team, And so when you think about acquiring Michael Thompson, we needed just one more big. And so when we got Michael, to try to contain Kevin McHale somewhat, and because nobody could stop him. But if you can just make it difficult for him and push him out a little bit further, and that's what Michael was able to do.
Right.
And so, we dominated that year. And then Pat, got better too. We all got better because he pushed us to be better. He got better.
Yeah.
And then when he told us in 88, after we won in 87, that parade, and he guaranteed that we would win again, he really understood that he wanted this team to chase now greatness, because we had already won, 4 championships, but now if you want to be great, you got to go back to back.
Yeah.
And he was right. And we all hated him for doing it at the parade.
In the moment,
Yeah, in
like
the
let's
moment.
celebrate what's going on now. But he was always thinking ahead.
We just beat the Celtics. Can we have a break, man?
Yeah.
Just give us some time to party and have some fun.
Right.
And then, Andy, this is what's crazy, right?
Yeah.
So he says that. We all looking at him like he's crazy. We all leave and go our separate ways because now we're on vacation. So I go to the Bahamas thinking, okay, I'm getting away from my teammates. I'm getting away from everybody. I'm on the beach walking. And I hear this voice said, Buck. And I said, oh, no. It's Pat Riley.
Oh, my God.
Him and his wife, Chris, are in the Bahamas at the same time.
Just spent like 9 months with the guy.
Oh, man.
Oh, my God.
I went absolutely crazy. I looked at him and said, no, you can't be here.
And he wanted to make sure you like doing your work in the morning.
Exactly.
You going out and doing
running on the
God.
beach. I said,
Crazy.
Pat, I can't be on vacation with you, but we had a good time.
Oh,
Cookie and
my
I
goodness.
and Chris.
Yeah.
And but never again do I want to be on vacation with him like that.
That's hilarious.
Even though now we could be on vacation, right?
But you'd still be talking basketball.
Oh yeah,
So,
for sure.
I like this picture a lot, because Gary Vitti has a great line about this. He calls it 12 plus 2 plus 1, which I guess he got from Pat, right? Yeah. So 12 players,
right?
2 coaches, Pat and Bill Burka, 1 trainer, and do you remember what Pat called everyone else? A peripheral opponent.
That's right.
Right.
Always.
So wives, girlfriends, kids, media.
It didn't matter.
Anybody
outside the team.
Peripheral opponent.
Yes.
So when you see this picture, and then you look at the Laker bench or any bench in the NBA, and it's like 4 rows deep.
Yes.
And you see, what goes through your mind? Because, it was a different game back then, but it was still NBA basketball.
Yeah, it was. And so Pat believed in controlling everything. And he did a fabulous job of doing just that. He believed in everybody had to focus on the goal, which was to win. Everybody had to leave outside forces, behind and make sure they did not come into that locker room. And when you look at this picture, even lining up, we had to be in line.
It was like a military thing almost.
Yes. And
true.
so that's who he was. He wanted to make sure that every detail, right? He controlled every detail. But I love that he coached us hard. I love that he pushed us to greatness. I love that details matter to him. You know why? Because I copied him. I watched him. So now, because I'm a businessman, the things that he taught me, I apply every single day. So I'm the same way. I want everything the right way and do everything the right way. So Pat, love Pat. I thank him every single day, because today's game is not like that. Guys are everywhere, right? National anthem. Not paying attention in the huddle sometimes. It's crazy, but this is their league. This is their time. I'm just happy that I played for Pat Riley, Hall of Fame coach, one of the best coaches that ever coached basketball. I mean, who could say that, right? Go from being one of the 2 or 3 best coaches ever in history, and now being one of the best executives of all time as well.
I can't think of really anyone else. Honestly,
Yes. And so
at that level,
to do both, and do it on you're talking about greatness. He did that as a coach, and now doing it as an executive. Only Pat Riley.
Right. So the Lakers are going to honor Pat with a statue, hopefully next season, I hope.
Right.
They haven't announced a date. You got the troops together for a Zoom call, which I thought was a beautiful gesture. Shortly after that, I saw Pat at some Hall of Fame thing. It was actually the announcement of the Hall of Fame class of
Right.
2025, and he was there, and I was there. And he was very specific on the photos that he wants. And to the point where he says, no crouching photos, Andy. If they're going to make a statue, I'm not crouching. So I think the pointing one is probably going to have to be it, right? But I'm going to be curious of what he comes up with.
Again,
Yeah.
Pat, detail.
Mm-hmm.
He's going to control
Yes.
what picture is being used. And that's great. That's who he is.
Yeah.
And so I love it. I love that about him.
Yeah.
He hasn't changed. Even at 80, he's getting ready to be 80. He's still the same way. Cool, calm, collective. Also chasing greatness.
Yeah.
As an executive now.
Running the show still down there.
Yeah, same thing.
So I want to segue a little bit, Magic, to this fabulous event that I was incredibly grateful, humbled to be asked to be part of and to attend. Was the Showtime Reunion in Maui. You and Pat Riley put together.
Right.
So basically, it was anybody who was on one of those 5 championship teams in the 80s qualified and was invited to go to Maui.
That's right.
There were about 70 guys or something like that.
Yeah, somewhere in that number.
Yeah.
I can't think of what the exact number was. And we invited all those guys.
Sure.
And so we're just happy that, the guys who were able to come came and had an incredible time.
Oh, unbelievable.
When I called Pat and we talked about putting this together, his thinking cap, he had, Buck, I want to practice. I want this. I want that.
Hold on a second. Let's go to that. This is you guys on the court having a moment together, right?
Yeah.
And we're going to put all these in the video.
Right.
But then what's going on here? You guys are you turn back the clock.
We turn back the clock.
Might have a couple of years on you, but Pat's got the knee braces on, but he's running a play.
That's right. We're all about 20, 30 pounds heavier.
It's all right.
Which is fine.
It's nature.
And so Pat is drawing up plays.
Yeah.
We're in Maui at the local gym.
Right.
And he's let us go through plays, and it was the time of our lives.
Yeah. What did it feel like, really? I'm showing this picture now for the audio audience of you, literally running one of your fist ups or whatever it was.
That's right.
No look pass. How did it feel to be running it again with your friends and your brothers in arms?
Andy, it was one of the greatest thrills that we could have. When you gone to war with all these guys and won not only 5 championships, went to the finals 9 times in 12 years, and you have retired, and 20, 25 years later, you get to go out there one more time with the same guys, with your Hall of Fame coach. I think it was just amazing.
Yeah.
And we had so much fun. We laughed so much.
Yeah.
And Pat, having his cards.
the blue card.
Yeah, the blue cards.
Unbelievable.
And his shorts. It brought back so many memories. And we just, listen, we hadn't seen each other, a lot of us, in a long time. So to get together for a week in Maui was just a thrill of all our lives. And I just want to thank Pat again, because him and I came up with this, and we also paid for this, as well as we want to thank Jeannie Buss, because she contributed money as well. And so when you think about these guys, this core, right, it changed basketball forever.
Oh, for sure.
And then again, we just had fun.
Oh, yeah.
Just had fun.
Well, what about,
and no other team could do this.
No, in any sport.
Yes.
That was
right.
Think about any sport, all the great dynasties. I couldn't imagine that ever happening.
No.
And because of the love that you guys had, the brotherhood that I felt when I was there.
That's right.
And seeing guys that I hadn't seen in a long, Jim Brewer and Chuck Nevitt. And, these guys just, wow, they were part of the experience and the story.
And Andy, when I called them, they couldn't believe. First, I was calling. Second, that I invited them, and third, that we're going to do it in Hawaii.
Right.
And I don't have to pay any money?
Yeah, you didn't have to twist my arm. My wife, now I got to, every vacation I go on with my wife, it's got to match up to that one. But what about this moment? This moment.
The beautiful sky.
Kareem at 75.
Yes.
Left the hospital room to fly to Maui. The next day, he's out there shooting a skyhook. I mean, I literally, I had to shoot it because that was, why I was there to record this. But to see it, it touched my heart to see that.
Yeah.
Amazing.
And it did something for him.
Yeah.
That's one thing. That's why we did this. This reunion, the Showtime reunion, energized every single guy, but especially Kareem.
Yes. Yeah.
When you're battling with illness or health issues, sometimes you need a pick me up. You need something to pick you up and to say, hey, I'm gonna be okay. And what all of us needed, but him especially, was the support of his guys.
Yeah, it was beautiful.
And so
I remember he came a day late, remember?
Yeah, he came a day late.
Literally in the hospital.
Exactly.
And he came, it was lunchtime. We were all having lunch in that outdoor atrium thing, and he came in with Deborah, and everybody got up and hugged him. And you could see on his face exactly what you're saying, the love and everything he'd been through, with his physical condition and everything. But to be back with the guys and then to be out there shooting skyhooks, come on. Well, that was crazy.
That was the medicine that he needed.
Yeah.
See?
That's
and
right.
so
that's right.
Pat and I were so happy to see him. But we had so much fun. See, people didn't see we were on the basketball court, but the bus ride to the basketball court was amazing, and then back to the hotel. Yeah. Then some guys went swimming, or they went on a boat ride, and some guys went golfing. Yeah. But what they didn't see at night, karaoke was so much fun.
Oh, unbelievable! And
playing cards and dominoes to hear the guys, Byron Scott, talking trash, and it was just. Man, there will never be a team like the Showtime Lakers.
Absolutely. And one of the things that you did, and I know you're humble about it, but you made every single person there, wives, husbands, everybody, stand up and say something during the week. We had dinner together every night. And I told my Pat Riley story about how he kicked me out of the huddle and I had to earn my way in and all that. I won't use the foul language. But that was the story. But what I left out was, because I couldn't tell two stories, was about work ethic. And I learned work ethic from early in my career from two people. One was my dad, and I know you and I share that. Our dads were hard workers. But the other person was you. And I don't think I ever told you that because... Wow. Well, when I saw you brought the lunch pail to work every day, man. I mean, I was with you guys, behind the scenes, and never took a night off, never took a practice off. You guys be up by 35 in the third quarter. You're still in the game, not maybe in the game, you're on the bench, but you're still in it.
Right.
And I just felt like that elevated what I had to do to be able to document this greatness. I had to elevate my game.
Right.
Honestly.
Right. Well, it's great that you looked at it that way, right? And I think that's why we're here doing this interview. Yeah. Because that's what Pat Riley was driving home to everybody, not just on the court, the Laker girls, everybody in the office, up to Dr. Buss. Yep. So it started with him, right? And it trickled down to Pat Riley. And then it trickled down to us. And then you think about Chick Hearn. He was driven by excellence. So everybody around the organization had the same mindset that we wanted to be great on the court, but you also, whatever your job was, you had to be great too.
Yeah, it's so interesting to me because I was with the Dodgers for 11 years at 84, 85 while I was doing my NBA work, And the Dodgers, it's just a different vibe to be a Dodger, the organization, the professionalism, the history. Right. And you've experienced both, one as a player, the other as a part owner. I mean, it's a blessed thing that you've been able to be around that greatness, and you obviously have elevated both organizations in that way.
Well, I appreciate that.
Yeah, I want to know what's going on in this picture, by the way. What's going on with the crooked finger thing? What is that?
Well, they all know none of my fingers are straight anymore, right? And so
he's imitating you?
Pat Riley is imitating me. All of them, I would say, play number one or pointing at somebody, and they would all say, "Well, who is he pointing at? Because it's not going straight, right?"
Yeah.
They used to tease me.
That's
so. That was the running joke about me and my fingers. But
yeah,
Pat and I love each other. That's what a picture.
Well, we took this picture,
The Hall of
which
Famers.
was all the Hall of Famers, and you were gracious enough to ask me to come in. I think my wife took this picture, honestly, with my camera. But somebody's missing from this picture who wasn't a Hall of Famer at that moment. Was the great Michael
That's
Cooper.
Right.
Right.
That's
So let's talk about Coop for a second, because you were there as part of his presenters with Lisa Leslie and Pat.
Right.
The night that Coop went in, well-deserved.
Yes.
Sixth man, which is unusual for a sixth man to go into the Hall of Fame.
Very
but
unusual.
If any sixth man is going to go in, it's a guy with 5 rings,
No
right?
question about it.
So what about Coop? What he meant to that team, to that era?
Well, I think that he'll go down as probably the greatest defender, you know, just like Pat will go down as the greatest coach, you know, you think about. And the same thing goes, nobody will ever be able to do what Michael Cooper was able to do for the Lakers off the bench.
Yeah.
Now, we all know Cooper could have started for any of the other teams.
Right.
Right. But he decided to stay because he wanted to be a part of something that was so special. And, man, he pushed me to greatness. I played against him every single day in practice. So he pushed me to be great because he was so mean, so physical.
Yeah.
It didn't matter your size. He took on everybody, right? Whoever Pat gave him the assignment to guard, he was going to do it and give you 150% effort.
Yeah. And Larry Bird paid him the ultimate compliment. He literally said the guy who played me the hardest was Michael Cooper.
Right, Michael Cooper.
And those matchups were just epic.
Oh, yeah.
You know, the string coming out of the shorts and the big socks on, and Larry getting frustrated.
Oh, yeah.
Because Coop would just be in his shorts.
Because he was crazy. He was mean. See, he was physical. And he understood the angles.
Yeah.
And see, Michael Cooper, basketball IQ is off the chart.
Yeah.
But also, too, he was athletic. He may have been skinny, but he was strong.
Strong. Yeah.
And so then
fearless.
That's right.
Yeah.
And so I'm so proud. I cried. I thought I was going in again.
That was a fun night in Springfield.
And we all loved and came to support him.
Yeah.
And, man. And, you know, we did it again. We broke the record for the most guys coming back to support.
I didn't realize that.
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Pat Riley.
Everyone was there.
We had the most
guys who didn't play with him were there.
Yeah.
Laker legends like Pau Gasol.
Oh, all of them.
Yeah.
Because that's what the Laker organizations, that's what we do.
Yeah.
We're going to come and support those who go into the Hall of Fame. So I'm happy for Coop. I'm glad I played with him. It couldn't happen to a better person. And to me, again, the greatest defender, but also a guy who hit 6 threes in the NBA Finals. He set the record.
That's right. Nobody gives him credit for his offensive. I mean, the Koopa loops and all that stuff, but yeah.
Oh, no, Coop could shoot, man. He provided that 87 run.
Yeah.
He helped us win the every playoff series. He probably hit 3 or 4 threes every single game.
Yeah.
And being the point guard, so he had to bring the ball up and still be a great defender once we got on defense. And
relentless.
so he could do it all.
Yeah. Well, I'm not going to get into the whole GOAT conversation. We're not going to have that. You and I are not going to have that conversation because we go on forever. And honestly, I don't really care. But when we talk about greatest Lakers, okay, and we talk about you, we talk about Kobe. There's a list, but you each called each other the greatest Laker of all time. He said it about you. You said it about him on a couple of occasions. When you think back about Kobe, when you first saw this kid, 18 years old, when you first saw him play, what was your first kind of impression of him?
Well, I knew he was going to be special.
Yeah?
Yeah. Because he had it, Andy. He had that drive. He was competitive. And when a guy knows how to play and is fearless at 18 years old, right? And has that type of talent and mindset, oh, man, you knew he was going to be special.
Yeah.
And Kobe, during his time, dominated the NBA. And the whole Mamba mentality, what he was able to bring to this city, Los Angeles, being a Laker, also what he was able to do off the court as a husband, a father, women's sports change. He's a big reason women's sports is where it is today, right? Because when people wasn't covering it and talking about it a lot, he was.
Right.
Right.
I'm glad you brought that up because this is one of the subjects I wanted to talk to you about was that you very early recognized women's sports. I remember you going to Sparks games, that opening game, I think you were there in 97.
Exactly.
And Lisa Leslie, of course, on that team. And then you became owner of the Sparks.
Right.
And now you're even further with the NWSL team. And look, we don't know what would have happened with Gigi. You know, she was obviously, she had the bloodline and she was destined for greatness. Right. But what you're doing for women's sports is really amazing. And what more has to be done?
Well, I think, just, again, giving them the same, I think the salaries, the money has to change. And they deserve it. They deserve higher wages and salaries. I think now they're getting the exposure that they wanted, and but it's there now. Yeah. Now I think it's about the money, and you're starting to see that's changing somewhat too. And so as long as the leagues keep growing, all right, fans keep coming out, they're getting exposure on TV like never before. I think the women's league is really the hottest thing going right now.
I think it is. I think
in every sport.
Absolutely.
And so so much has changed for the good. Yeah. And I think it will continue to the leagues and women will continue to just grow and blow up. Yeah. And we're going to see them making the millions of dollars that they deserve, whether it's the WNBA, whether it's NWSL, on and on and on.
Let's hope so.
You'll see that.
Yeah. All right, last thing I want to talk about is your Commanders. Okay, so I saw you at Coop's jersey retirement, and you guys had just won, and you were going to Detroit for the division playoffs, right?
Right.
And here you are going back home to Detroit. I'm sure you grew up a Lions fan, right? We've talked about that. You wearing the other team's colors, your owner. What did that feel like going back home?
It was strange.
As the enemy, basically.
Yeah, it was strange.
I can imagine.
And it was strange for me and strange for the Detroit Lion fans.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah.
Because here I am coming back and I'm a Washington Commander owner and going up against, the team I grew up watching as well as my home state.
Yes.
And they were on fire. Yeah. And so the
tough
Lions,
building to win in as a visiting team.
Ford Field is tough. Yeah. And they're an excellent team as well, the Lions. And so for us to come in and probably play our best game of the season.
With a rookie quarterback. I mean,
Jaden Daniels is just special.
The kid is amazing.
He's special. Yeah. He has the it genes. Nothing bothers him. He can sit in that pocket, throw an interception, and then the next possession or the next drive, he forgets about it, and he can lead you to victory. And he did that time after time after time the whole season. Yeah. And then, 2 minutes to go, we're behind. You know how many times? I think it was 5 or 6 times he led us to a comeback victory, come from behind victory. So, no, we know we got a special quarterback. We know that we got to continue to build it. Hopefully we can get to the Super Bowl one day and win it. Our fans are back.
Yeah.
Josh Harris has done an amazing job, our principal owner, and Adam Peters. So all of them, Coach Quinn, everybody's working together to see how we can improve the team for next season.
And you just picked up Deebo Samuel.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
I mean, that's not bad.
Not bad
now
at
people
all.
want to go to Washington to play, right?
Yes.
So
yes.
that's wonderful. That's great.
Before that didn't happen.
Yeah.
So we're sitting in a great position in a tough division, a tough league.
Yeah.
But we learned a lot from this past season. Now let's see what happens this season coming up.
Well, listen, I wish you all the best. Dodgers about to start.
Yep.
Right? It's going to be ring night and banner night and the whole thing.
I'm getting ready to go to Japan in 2 days.
Unbelievable. Never stops.
Play. That's right.
But I can't tell you how much I appreciate you taking the time to talk today.
Oh.
It's so great to be back here. I retired last year, of course, and, and this is my new sort of,
This
what
is
I'm
a
doing.
cool job.
I like it.
This is a cool
I
job
get to talk to
have.
you. Come on.
Listen, you can never retire.
No.
It's just in you. So
Right.
to have this type of platform and with the memories and the access to so many celebrities and athletes, you are the perfect person for this, and you have photos, see the bag this up. You're a storyteller. Most people don't have the photos.
Right.
They can tell a story, but you can tell a story and back it up with the photos.
Right, and it helps to have been in the room
That's
when it
right.
happened, too.
That's
so
right.
I love doing it. I love every interview. You were so gracious that first season when we were just getting out of the box, and I appreciate everything, Magic. Thank you so much, man.
Always.
Love you, man.
I
Thank
love you forever.
Of course.
And your family. Turn around,
you.
take a picture. They taking a picture of us.
Thank you. Thank
All
you.
right.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you, Irv. Well, a huge thanks to the great Earvin Magic Johnson for a wonderful conversation for this week's episode. Always great to see him and chat. And a big, big, big happy birthday to the legendary Pat Riley from all of us here at Legends of Sport. Thanks for tuning in to this episode and for continuing to support the Legends of Sport podcast presented by Fujifilm. Please follow them on Instagram at FujifilmX_US. That's at FujifilmX_US. Folks, please tell all your friends to subscribe to our YouTube channel, Legends of Sport, and of course our Instagram at Legends of Sport, and my photography can be found on Instagram at ADB Photo Inc. Big thanks as always to our producer Carlin Barker and our editors Sean Gosser and Addison Xiao. And also a big thanks to our PA, Jacob Tang. Thanks to Magic's team and especially Stefanetta Bingley for helping to make this interview happen. Thanks again, everyone, for checking out this episode. We'll be back next week with another great episode of the Legends of Sport podcast presented by Fujifilm.